This is
Chat the Great.
So how did that kind of go to get into key production? What was the kind of journey there?
Well, after I left university, I actually went travelling for a couple of years. I kind of did my gap year the wrong way round, which was probably a good thing because I might never have carried on. And then I came back to the UK. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. When you've been out of the country for a couple of years doing, picking grapes and working in bars and things, your head gets a bit all over the place. And my best mate, Ruth, who's a school friend, saw her the other day. She just said, it's like, well, music's always really inspired you and it's something you really love. Why don't you get into the music industry? And I think lots of people at that time, especially if you're a woman, said you have to learn to type and become a secretary to get into the music industry.
whoa.
Yeah, I know. But bloody hell, I wish I'd learned to type because I'm really rubbish at it. And I kind of wrote my CV and I applied for kind of quite a few jobs. I ended up applying for quite a few jobs at the same place through various. There was like a couple of government schemes, and also I was literally just ringing everybody up and walking the streets and knocking on doors. And I got a temporary position at Rough Trade Distribution.
Oh wow!
As a receptionist, not a secretary, a receptionist, because I can't type. And I was just sort of covering maternity cover, but the job carried on. And receptionist is quite a good place to start because you see all the comings and goings. And I just asked a lot of questions and got to know how everything worked, kind of. And that's where I met Kathy.
Oh, man.
So way back then, it must have been 88, 89 when I met Kathy, something like that.
Yeah.
And we worked together in sort of reception or as part of the administration team there. And then I managed to get a job. A job came up in the production department, which is actually the department that was manufacturing all the vinyl and CDs and so on for people that were distributed through Rough Trade. I started off just checking invoices because I guess people realised that I had the ability to do that. And started off there. I think my first couple of weeks, my boss, Sally, hello Sally, was off sick, so I just kind of got thrown right into the deep end. And I think you sink or swim, and I obviously swum, doggy paddled, and then she moved on, I carried up, so it's quite quickly I sort of rose up to become head of department there. I suppose I learnt my trade really quick. And then we had a new boss that came in and we didn't see eye to eye. He asked me to do things that I didn't sit well with me. And so I'd actually done him some business plans about how to make more money from the department. I'd also suggested that we maybe buy or invest in a pressing plant, like a vinyl pressing plant. And he just kind of pushed me aside and said to me that production, which is what I was doing, is one person and a computer. So I kind of, which I thought was a bit rude, but then I kind of, I took it to heart in a way and set up on my own.
But do you think he did that just because you're a woman and he was like a man, because in those times were really completely different than today's? Do you think that?
I think so, yes.
I kind of think so as well, to be honest. From what
I don't think he didn't seem to like women that spoke their mind, and just from the amount of kind of sexism that I've had from sort of older men during my time in the music industry, I certainly think that way. But anyway, what it made me do is think, actually, I could do this myself and set up on my own. I didn't have a computer at the time, but I did set up by myself, and I'd done a bit of research, and I'd asked some of the record labels that we were dealing with if I could save them a lot of money, would they come and do the work with me? And I managed to get some of our suppliers to support me and to say that they'd give me credit.
Yeah.
So in the knowledge that one particular record company, I knew they did a lot of work, I knew what they were paying, I knew what I could pay for it, and I knew that if I gave them a much reduced price, I could survive.
Yeah.
So that enabled me to sort of start up on my own, and they are still a customer today.
Oh, I think that's
Whoa,
great
so
though,
nice.
that you went out and you were like, you know what, I'm going to do it myself, and I'm going to go and do it. And I think like that's just like completely sticking it and being like, well, I'm going to do it on my own then. If you're going to tell me how to do things, I'm not going to do it that way. So Karen, yes. Go on, son. Love that.